Morning, everybody. Well, at least it's good morning for me. It's about almost 8 o'clock in the morning for me. Santino, what time is it for you right now?
It's already 9 in the evening on a Sunday.
Wow, talk about going international, right? Nearly a 13-hour difference. But
Yep, yep, yep.
yeah, so guys, welcome to new season of Eternal Midnight. I'm Chad, I'm back. I'm here with Santino. Santino, what's going on?
Sup, man? I'm doing great. Saw a lot of movies in the past 2 weeks, and I'm ready to talk about it.
Cool. Yeah, guys, so today we're just going to kind of ease our way back into getting these shows going again. So today, Santino and I just figured we'd make this real easy. We're just going to kind of talk about some of the new movies we've seen for the first time in the past couple weeks. A couple of Oscar winners, a couple of older movies. So Santino, what do you? Let me see. I'll give my list first, real quick. For me, the three I'm going to be discussing that I saw for the first time was Birds of Prey in theaters a few weeks ago. I know you got that on your list too. And then the other two
Mhm.
for me are older movies, La La Land and Arrival. So we'll get to those. So Santino, what do you got?
I got Birds of Prey also, like you, Chad, and then I got Parasite, which won Best Picture of 2019, 1917, and Little Women. So yeah, those
And
are
I
mine.
was and I was actually supposed to have 1917 on my list, but the joys of winter in Michigan sometimes the cold will hit you and just suddenly make you sick out of the blue when you don't want to be. But it is what it is. So I'll be able to get all the info from Santino in 1917, and you guys will too. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have timestamps down in the bottom if there's anything you particularly want to hear our opinions on. If not, sit back, relax, and we're going to dive right into it. So Santino, which one do you want to talk about first?
Well, Chad, let's talk about since it's the newest movie right now. Let's talk about Birds of Prey.
Okay. What was your first thoughts?
Honestly, I really liked it. I thought it was a really good step up from Suicide Squad. The fact
Mm-hmm.
that they didn't shy away from the R rating this time and actually gave a story that was good and embraced the fact that it's violent. I like the fact that Margot Robbie does a lot more in here in this movie than in Suicide Squad, because in Suicide Squad all she really did was, I mean, what did she do? She
She
hit
was the
the
she was the girl.
Yeah, she hit the monsters with a bat and shot people. But right now, like in Birds of Prey, she's doing a lot of acrobatics. She's high kicking opponents, and like she's hitting people with her bat in creative ways. She has a my favorite action scene. I mean, okay, spoilers since we're talking about it in length. My favorite
No,
action
no,
scene.
nobody's seeing the movie in theaters anyways. It's not doing good. So yeah, guys, we're gonna have spoilers for some of these. So
Yeah, and it really
listen at your
actually
discretion.
all of these, because like we're really gonna talk about in length because some of these movies are old and some you
Mhm.
probably have seen. So anyway, yeah, my favorite action scene was the one where she entered the police station and she had that confetti gun and she was just shooting the people. That was like, wow, it's really creative. And I like the fact that there are long takes and like you can see the action. It's not cutting like in Marvel movies they really just like do a lot of cuts and quick edits. But in this one, like it felt unique because the fact that it was long and there were like a lot of pans around the camera while she was hitting the people. And to be honest, my second thought was the Birds of Prey themselves, while Black Canary, Montoya, and Huntress, while they didn't get a lot of screen time, it basically became Harley Quinn the movie. Uh, I still like it as a good introduction for these three ladies, and I thought it was pretty good to see Huntress for the first time, which is one of my absolute favorite characters in DC Comics. And Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I hope I pronounced her name correctly, plays her super well. And for the few scenes she was in, that I really want now a Huntress solo movie just to
Mhm.
see where she. So yeah, my thoughts were overall they were really positive. It's a shame people are not seeing this because
It's
it's
good.
really a good. Yeah, it's a good movie, and people are missing out because they think it's gonna be another Suicide Squad, or they think it's another female empowerment movie. And what's really wrong with that? I mean, like I don't harbor any hate personally for Captain Marvel or Wonder Woman. I just like good comic book movies. So when I watch Birds of Prey, I see a comic book movie, not a female empowerment movie, and it's good. It's a good movie. So
Definitely.
yeah,
And
I
I
really
think to build
watch
on what you were saying, because I agree with all of it, is Ewan McGregor was great again
it.
as Black Mask. I mean, he stole the show. You could literally see this guy was having a ball with his role, and it was just, I mean, I gotta love the guy. I really do. I watch almost anything he's in. Like, just, I mean, he could go from like joking around and laughing to just like completely imposing and scary in
Oh
some
yeah,
scenes.
yeah.
It
That
was
that
good.
scene, that scene where he made the girl dance on the table,
Oh,
that
that
was
was
killing.
that was scary because it's like he was teetering on that edge where it's like, okay, is he gonna snap and like shoot up the whole place right now because she's not listening to him? But yeah, so overall, yeah, it was a good story. I do agree with what some people are saying. Harley Quinn's name probably should have been it probably should have been something like Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey or something. Having her name in it probably would have been better, but at the same time, her face was plastered over every poster and all the trailers. So I'm not quite sure why it's doing as bad in theaters as it is, but I genuinely don't think this is going to cause Warner Brothers to back down on taking chances and pumping out movies like this where they're doing something different. Because look at Aquaman, they made $1 billion off of it. Look at Joker, they made $1 billion off of it.
And they
They
got
know
all.
they're going to have their massive hits, and they know they're going to have some of their setbacks. So I just am praying that this is not one of those instances where DC now will get cold feet and be like, okay, no more R-rated films. But I don't think they will. I think that this is one where they're just going to go, you know what? Yeah, we're going to lose some money on it, but we made a ton off of stuff like Joker and Aquaman. So I think going forward, and they already know they're going to make massive bank off of Wonder Woman 84. So I think they're going to be fine. This was just one they didn't make a lot on.
To add to that, I really super agree with what you're saying. I mean, I'm gonna pull off something that my best friend Dylan said to me back in like one of our long conversations about Marvel and DC, and it's something I actually agree with. Marvel right now, or the MCU in general, they've found their stride, their formula where we're gonna make a bunch of different themed movies set in our universe, and we're gonna make it good for families and for kids and for everyone to watch, and that's fine. And it works for them. I mean, like they get like $1 billion every year on one movie. But with DC, I gotta appreciate their creativity more. I mean, like Aquaman is entirely different from Joker. Joker is entirely different from Birds of Prey. They're taking risks. And yeah, they're gonna lose some money, but to be honest with you, I
It's gonna
like.
be. I personally have, like me. I mean, I've always liked the DC characters more than Marvel, so I can't really say I'm biased, even though I kind of can be, because I do see the good in some of the DC movies that some other people don't see. But at the same time, it's, yeah, exactly like you said. They're doing something different. They're the ones taking risks. They're the ones giving us these different types of genres, while Marvel just gives us the same things over and over and over. It's like they're all Marvel makes is action comedies.
I mean, that's not bad. I mean, like, okay,
It's
I
not bad, but at the same time, it's like I know so many. I mean, and these are not diehard fans who I speak to about this stuff. I know plenty of people who are like, you know, they like these movies all mesh together. They're like, I couldn't tell you the difference between Guardians 1 and Guardians 2. They're like, I couldn't tell you the difference between Ant-Man 1 and Ant-Man 2. But so it's like, I get that the diehard fans obviously remember everything. That's part of being a diehard fan of any community. I mean, I'm a huge Godzilla fan. I can tell you the difference between every single Godzilla movie, but I know other people who are like, they're all the same thing. So it's like yes and no, but Marvel does have a formula that they stick to. And if they want to, I think, appeal more in the future, not just to being, if they want to appeal more and take more chances, they've got to be willing to try different things. And I don't think what happened with Scott Derrickson and Doctor Strange 2 was a good thing because it means that they're too afraid to try something different behind the scenes.
I mean,
But off of Marvel, back to what we were talking about.
yeah. So as I was saying, I mean, like to add on to that, I guess it's because like right now, I mean, like when Marvel was still under Paramount, that was when they took risks. I mean, like Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, the first Avenger. You can clearly see that they're entirely different movies from another. And I guess when Disney took over the rights and Guardians of the Galaxy became a huge hit, they started Phase 3 became an entire like action comedy set piece where it's like, you know, they're all kind of different theme tones, but they have the same action comedy jokes that Guardians of the Galaxy took. So, and that's not bad. I mean, like you appeal to more audiences. But anyway, so back to Birds of Prey. I'm glad DC is honestly really, really going strong despite the negative reactions that Birds of Prey is getting, and they are doing their own thing, their own formula. And yeah, they're gonna lose some money, but you know, I don't mind. They're doing a lot, and I never really, to be honest, as much as I am a Marvel fan, I don't hate DC at all. A lot of people assume that most MCU fans are DC haters, and that's not true because I love the DC movies. I like Man of Steel. I love Man of Steel. I like I like BVS well enough. I just didn't like Suicide Squad that much. And the rest of the DC movies are fine. Even Justice League was passable to me. You know, it's like Justice League. You know, despite it having some problems. But I mean, back to the topic. Birds of Prey. My conclusion of that movie, my final thoughts are it on. I want DC to keep going down this path of trying new things for every different hero because once they find their uniqueness for each hero and each tone of each character, they're really gonna last long in the game of superhero movies that everyone's cranking out right now. So yeah.
So what else do you got on your list?
Uh, Let's go from yours, Chad. You wanna try La La Land right now?
Sure. So I've had La La Land for a while. I just never got around to watching it. And the other night, I was like, I'm on the mood for something new. Popped it in, loved it.
Nice.
When I watch a movie, I get more. Obviously, every movie needs a good story. If you have a garbage story, to me, you're a garbage film. Sorry, that's just the way it is for me, at least. Um, so the story of La La Land, yeah, it's very simple. You know, two people in Hollywood. They meet, fall in love, break apart, la la la. Nothing too special there. But it was just the performance also given by Stone and Gosling, who I've always enjoyed Gosling. Yeah, he's almost like people say he's one of Hollywood's pretty boys, which he is, but at the same time he is an amazing actor. It's like every time I see him, I forget how much I enjoy seeing him on screen. So it's just the chemistry that he and Stone had that really pushed it forward. But also something I really enjoy in films is seeing, aside from great performances from the actors, seeing great things that the actors do, such as sing a song all in one go or a giant dance number or something. I mean, that is hard. Like you
Yeah.
said earlier, when you're watching a fight scene with multiple cuts every like half a second, I don't really know how to feel about that because one, I can't see anything. Two, who really knows how that fight scene was even really choreographed because you're just chopping it up, showing it from multiple angles, and it's like, okay, how good could it really have been? But when I see a full-on dance number where the camera does not cut, to me, that is talent right there, being able to see something like that because it's hard to get it all down without a stumble, without a trip, without missing your cue, always being in the right spot, and getting it all in one long take. That is difficult, and props to anyone who can pull it off.
I I want to talk more about that entire like long camera sequencing in my when we talk about 1917. But I fully agree with you, Chad. And to me, I like the fact that I've been following this guy. His name is Damien Chazelle, who has made 3 movies in the past like maybe 5 years. First Man, La La Land, and Whiplash. And I
Mm-hmm.
can honestly say that La La Land is my favorite of his because it's really about, to be honest. I mean, okay, again, spoilers since like the film is like 3 years old now, or 4 years old since it's 2020. The film really is about dreams, and sometimes you have to give up the people you love for your dreams.
Hmm.
So I found the ending of La La Land one of the most realistic endings I've seen in the entire decade, because it just shows that you can't love and achieve your dreams at the same time, because it doesn't work like that. If you want to achieve your dreams, sometimes you have to sacrifice something, your love included, right? So um, I like the fact that I love the fact that La La Land carried the story of Gosling and Stone to a marvelous degree, where they it shows that they really Gosling and Stone really show that they are in love with each other, and that's probably because they've acted in two other films before this,
Hmm.
Crazy Stupid Love and Gangster Squad, both of which I have seen, and both are really good, and both have good chemistry with Gosling and Stone. But it's Gosling and Stone. But this one's my absolute favorite, because there's a point in the movie where they don't become characters. They feel like real people already, and I'm watching
Hmm.
them unfold. And I think the best showcase of that talent was in the dinner fight scene, where
That was sad
yeah, where it was
because it
sad.
was just, I mean, when he let slip and insulted her, it was just like you almost anyone can relate to that on so many levels when you're hearing something you don't, because you could tell he was afraid of what she was saying because what she was saying was true
Yeah,
and it freaked him out and that's why he insulted her. Um and it was sad because we've all had that moment and we've all had that moment where we try to fix things with people who it might not even be possible, when he confronted her afterwards and apologized and she was like, I don't care, too bad. And then the ending where they saw each other and both gave each other that like final, that kind of final goodbye to each other. I mean, I was telling you after I watched it, and I'll say it again here. I've been there. I've had that happen. Not exactly like that, but I've had that happen with an ex where we split over something stupid, and we both moved on, and we saw each other at some point in the future, and she was with I mean, she was married, and we saw each other, and it was just kind of that respectful, kind of like that look. We just gave each other that, hey, even though you and I aren't together anymore, I still respect you, and I'm glad you're happy. So
yeah,
it really stuck with me, and I'm honestly genuinely looking forward to watching the movie again at some point. So yes, the drama's good in it. Choreography for the dance scenes is great. The sets look great. I love the old school Hollywood feel that they gave to it. It was a lot of fun. I highly suggest to anyone out there who enjoys good performances, who enjoys just a good drama, basically. I urge you to go see it because I know musicals aren't the top of everyone's list, but I genuinely say that this one's really good and it's really up there and it deserves the praise it got.
yep, I agree. My final thoughts on that movie, I've seen it a billion times, so that's why let you take the lead on this one, because it's really your first time. My final thoughts on the movie are that uh, this movie will be this movie right now is kind of treated as a joke because of the Oscar mishap that happened in 2017. But really, it is still a very much timeless film that will live on in the future, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, because that it's something that is a timeless topic. Giving up what you love or who you love for your dream, which is something that everyone at some point in their life can relate to. And I'm glad that Gosling and Stone took this project, because Stone actually won for La La Land, and
Mm.
Gosling was nominated. And to be honest, I think both of them should have won together, because they both gave great performances. And Chad, I'm not sure if you know this, but actually, Gosling and Stone were not the first choices of the director. It was actually Miles Teller and Emma Watson for the roles of Sebastian and Mia,
All
which to
right,
me,
I like Miles Teller, but I could not see him having played that role.
yeah, same,
I
same.
definitely couldn't.
Yeah, I can't see Watson either playing the role of Mia, honestly, because it's not that I hate her. I like her. Except the fact that I think Emma Stone made the character her own, and that's her movie. So it's fine. So and I'm glad that the director chose Gosling and Stone over Taylor and Watson for the role of Mia and Sebastian, because right now, that's, if you look at what everyone says, those two are the iconic characters that they have played. So yeah. So La La Land, to wrap it up for me, it's a great film, timeless film, a film that I've watched thrice in theaters because it's really good. And to anyone who hasn't watched it, I recommend you do see it because it's super good. And well, you probably have right now if you're listening to this, but I still recommend that you see it again because there's a lot of topics that it talks about that are still relevant today in your own life. So yeah, La La Land all the way.
Definitely. What do we got next?
Let's
One of
move on.
yours.
Yeah, one of mine. Since you mentioned the tracking shot of La La Land and the amount of talent that went into that, I'd like to mention my favorite, or in my opinion, the best movie that I saw last 2019. Let's get into it. 1917 was an absolutely masterful movie, and in terms of everything, action, cinematography, and most of all directing. Because okay, I watched 1917 like 3 times, and
Wow.
you know how many cuts are there in the movie?
I saw the number, but I don't remember.
Dude, there are three. Three cuts in the entire 2 hour runtime. The trailer has more cuts than the actual movie. Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because the amount of, this is all one shot. Sam Mendes directed this entire movie. Like, okay, it's not one shot obviously, because there's obvious cuts where like the camera pans down to something inconspicuous and then it goes back up again, and that's where you can tell there's a cut made. But man, 4 cuts or 3 cuts in the entire movie, it's insane. It shows that it's one of the best war movies I've seen, and I'm a fan of war movies, right? So
Okay.
I think Saving Private Ryan is still my absolute favorite, but 1917 comes damn close at number 2 because it shows that it talks about World War One, which not a lot of people talk about. I mean, like you see all these war movies being made, and they're all about the World War Two or the Vietnam War, but no one's really talked about World War One. I mean, like the closest we got was Wonder Woman in 2017, but that doesn't really count, does it? Because it's a superhero movie. Wonder Woman, 1917 really explores how bad trench warfare was and how bad it was to be in a situation. It's not a fun movie by any means. It's kind of like Joker, where there's not a moment of happiness, a moment of like, oh, that joke was funny. I want to see another joke like that in the next 5 minutes. It's a dark, gritty tale on.
Well, as it should be. I mean, in my opinion, I can't stand when people need comedy injected into everything. I mean, this is World War One. This is based on reality. There's nothing funny about a world like World War One or World War Two. There's no reason for joking in it. I can't stand when people are like, oh, it was just so bleak and whatnot. Yeah, it was war. Millions of people died. There was nothing fun or funny about it. You don't need jokes in every film.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a film that doesn't need jokes, and because the camera is um on the actors a lot, there's very little dialogue between the two main actors. It's just really a lot of emotion, a lot of tired faces, a lot of face crunching and eyebrows moving that show that these guys are really trudging through World War One and just doing their best to survive. I mean, the plot of 1917 Chad is very simple. I know we haven't seen it, so I'll keep it to a minimum so that you don't get spoiled that much. But the plot of 1917 is basically the Germans have left their old trench to go to new trench, which the British want to attack right away, but they don't know that they're walking into a trap.
Okay.
And as a bonus, the Germans cut off their telephone line, so they can't reach the command center. So they send these two guys, Blake and Schofield, to deliver a message, a handwritten message by the general's orders to stop the attack. If they don't stop the attack in the next 12 hours, the soldiers will grow over and many will die, including Blake's brother. So that's the basic. It's a simple bring the message to the other end and basically survive. It's a survival game, but it's done so well to the point where you actually feel tense the entire time, and you're just praying and hoping and biting your nails that these two guys get to their destination, because there's a lot of enemies between the first British line and the second British line. So it's a lot of running, a lot of pacing, a lot of walking, a lot of pointing their guns at enemies that are not there to make sure that they're okay, and it's basically a story of survival and a story of getting to where you need to be, but also showing the hardships of war. That it wasn't a lot of war movies that I don't like Pearl Harbor, or I don't like that movie, or the more recent war movies that are churned out every year that are just so dumb because they glorify that these men were like shooting machine guns and being all like bleak, and so these men are like shooting machine guns and it's all glory and power and war and America. Yeah, it's not like that. It's like
war is scary. War is very, very scary.
Very, very scary. And I've seen only 3 films in my entire lifetime, 3 war films that convey that properly. 1917, Hacksaw Ridge, and Saving Private Ryan. Because war should not be glorified. It should be shown as the fact that it is scary and people have died in it. And 1917 doesn't have violence. It's a PG movie, but the director pans down on like bodies on the floor. Or there's this one scene where they go into a pit and you can tell that pit was made from a bomb. And when I love that there's a shot of Schofield, he just lies down and puts his hand down on the ground to rest. And the camera pans down and he put his hand in the dead body.
Wow.
And the body's been shot up with bullets and all that, and it's rotting. And he just freaks out and he gets traumatized by it. And that's something so real, because
that's what happened.
Yeah, and there's this one shot that absolutely blew my mind. I'm not gonna tell you where it is because it will spoil the movie for you. But it's a shot of Blake and Schofield. They're running so fast, and behind them they're just men coming out of the trench, and bombs are like people are shooting at them and they're falling down, and you can tell that they're just running to get away from the bullets and the bombs, and it's just really insane how that's done. I mean, all in one take. That's insane. That's crazy. I'm not gonna go into any more detail because I know you badly want to watch it, and I recommend you do, because it's a great, great movie. And anyone who's listening to this needs to see it, because personally, that's my.
If I'm able to get to it this afternoon, I will. If not, well, I'll try some night this week maybe. But I know I want to see it.
Yeah, it's a really great movie, and it was my pick for Best Picture and Best Director. But another movie won that round, and that's fine with me. I'll talk about it in this next segment of this video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. We'll jump to my next one right now. My final new one per se. Arrival.
Oh yes.
So, yes, I heard nothing but good things. I heard mixed things about this. One person I know, this is almost embarrassing that somebody I'm friends with said this to me. They said they found it boring. I was like, and I remember this is before I saw it. I was like, what was boring about it? And they were, this is so stupid. I can't believe they said this. They were like, because it's nothing like Independence Day.
What?
I swear to God, that's what they said. I was like,
Jesus Christ.
I was like, I don't think they were going for Independence Day.
I don't think they were going for this.
But I guess for certain film fans who just watch films to be entertained, and there's plenty of them, because I'll put it, this is a very smartly written film. Um, and I can see why some people would find it boring. I can. I'm not going to degrade. I'm not going to bring anyone down who says, oh my gosh, it's boring, because it can be, but it depends why you're watching it and what you're watching it for. If you're watching this, yes, for aliens come to Earth and invade, you're not going to get it. That's not what this is. But if you're wanting to watch a very smart science fiction film, then you've hit gold with this one, in my opinion. So when did you first see it?
When did I first see it? Oh man, I saw it in cinemas because Arrival. The thing with my cinemas are all the independent films like Parasite, Little Women, 1917. They don't come to the Philippines until they are nominated for an Oscar. So of course they bring it to give it more recognition.
Mm-hmm.
So I end up watching films late. So Arrival came out 2016 of November, I believe. I watched it right February 2017.
Wow.
And yeah, I know it was late. And let me tell you, it was worth the wait and worth every penny because I loved Arrival.
Mm-hmm.
Arrival it was smart. Okay, a lot. It's my second favorite film of 2016. First being La La Land, and Arrival was smart because of the way it was written.
It's a film about communication and about how we
Yeah.
need to keep communication open with each other, because that was the whole story behind the entire film, was communication, which I was like, genius to take something as simple as communicate. And it was just like watching some of the scenes where they were breaking down the difference of what a word can mean in what context it's in, is something you don't really think about. Like when Amy Adams was pointing out, when the colonel was asking her, go in and ask them why they're here, and she wrote out the sentence, what is your purpose here? She pointed out why every word has to be explained so the aliens understood what they meant, because anything can be taken out of context, especially when there is a language barrier that's that large.
Right,
So it's stuff
right.
like that where I was like, that takes a smart person to write something like that. And that's what this film is. It's a very smart film, in my opinion. That's all I was thinking the whole time. I'm like, this was a very smartly written film, and definitely a very underrated piece of science fiction history, I believe.
Yes, because Denis Villeneuve is my favorite director of the 2010s, and he makes such good films. And Chad, I know you've seen Blade Runner 2049, and yeah, I know you love that movie, or you like it enough to
I
really
did.
appreciate it.
As we've talked about on a previous show you and I were on, maybe we'll do a remake of that episode someday.
Yeah.
But as I said, I when it comes to Blade Runner in 2049, we'll just quick tangent spin off. When it comes to those, I prefer the story of the original Blade Runner much more. But
I know.
2049 definitely gets its credit where it's due. Where again, 2049 is a very smart film. Also, the visuals of 2049 are amazing, and yes, Denis Villeneuve I will look forward to anything this man makes. Basically, like we got Dune coming up at the end of the year. I'm extremely excited for that one. But
I recommend you see this. Okay, sorry.
oh no, I was just gonna say, but yes, 2040. While I enjoy the story of the first Blade Runner more, I can't really say anything bad against 2049 at all. So because I've seen people say it to me also, not just you. They've been, oh, you don't like it? I'm like, no, it's not that I don't like it. I just like the first one better, because I genuinely think the first one was a better story. But like I said, 2049 was a great sequel, great follow up, and it's just another showcase of Villeneuve's talents. But
Yeah.
back to Arrival. Yes, and I just thought it was. It's gonna take a few more watches, and genuinely, those are some of my favorite movies. Are the ones where I can watch it once, and when I'm done, the first thing that pops into my head is I almost need to watch this again, because it shows that the movie did something, as opposed to some movies where you watch it and by the time you turn the TV off or walk out of the theater and get to your car, you've completely forgotten about it. No, Arrival stuck with me the rest of the day when I watched it, and I was just thinking about it and thinking about what certain scenes meant, what certain remembering certain parts of dialogue, where, like I said, as soon as I was done, I was like, I need to rewatch this again soon. So now that I've finished the story, now I can see it because let's not divulge the twist near the end. But there's certain scenes that now that I've seen the whole thing, you will when I watch it the second time, I'm going to have a very different I'm going to have a very different thought process of the second time because I know how it ends. So I'll be able to see it in a different way.
Right. Right. And I'm not gonna divulge the twist because it's one of the best twists that I've ever seen. It really caught me by surprise, to be honest. The twist ending of the movie, and if you've seen it, you know what it is. And I know Chad, you know, but
Yep.
yeah, but
Yeah, sometimes I think even when we do discuss spoilers, sometimes I agree. Sometimes there's certain twists that it's like we can hint at, but I don't want to ruin it for anyone who's interested because while I don't think knowing a twist of a film always ruins it, like I was one of those people, I knew how Endgame ended before I went into it
oh really?
because I didn't care. I knew how it was going to end before I officially knew how it was going to end. I
Mm.
mean, not exactly, but I guessed at it. I mean, in my brain, I was like, Tony's gonna die. I was like, I know that's how it's gonna be. And then I just didn't know how he was going to die. And then I knew, like I said, I knew before Endgame came out. I knew it. But at the same time, it's like knowing that did not detract ruining the film for me. The story of Endgame itself ruined it for me. But but no, I think the twist of Arrival is one of those things where it's almost like, no, go into it blind. You'll appreciate it much, much more.
Yeah, yeah, same. Honestly, also the twist for Blade Runner 2049. I mean, I don't want to mention it here, but if you go into it blind, it's a much better experience.
Yes, I completely agree. And 2049, I missed Arrival is one I don't think I regret missing in theaters. Um, because I mean it was I was perfectly fine watching it here at home, but 2049 is one I regret missing in theaters, and I'm not making that mistake again when Dune comes out.
Oh, you missed 2049 in theaters?
I
Wow.
did, Mr. The funny thing is, I did not see. This is so funny. I did not see the first Blade Runner until 2049 was out of theaters.
Oh, wow.
Yup, I just never got around to it. And when I finally saw it, I basically kicked myself for waiting so long to see it. But
Yeah.
it wasn't a big deal. Like I said, 2049, I definitely wish I'd seen in theaters, but Arrival, I was fine. Now that I've seen it, I definitely don't think it was one I had to have seen in theaters because while it might have been cool, I think, seeing some of the imagery on the big screen, a lot of it is just people talking and good dialogue. So I was like, I don't like that's why I don't see comedies in theaters because it's just as funny at home than as it will be in theaters. So there's certain movies I don't see in theaters because I don't need to.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see also comedies in theaters.
Yeah, to me, comedies, I'll probably never voluntarily see another comedy in theaters ever again because seeing a comedy on the big screen is no different than watching a comedy at home. The jokes are the same, the dialogue is the same, the situations are the same, but there's a difference between seeing a giant sprawling landscape in 2049 and some of the amazing imagery and music, hearing it on those speakers and up on the big IMAX or regular screen that you can't duplicate at your home unless you have a home theater.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like movies like 1917, 2049. They're meant to watch in theaters, and I seriously, again, it's a shame you didn't watch 2049 in theaters because I did, and it was one of the best experiences I've had of in 2017 cinema. So that was really good.
Hmm.
So I'm glad that Chad that you like Arrival a lot because I personally loved Arrival. There's not as much as La La Land, but I loved it to the point where I questioned a lot of what I was seeing honestly, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I got kind of like a headache when I came out. Like, wow, that's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's like drinking three vodkas in one sitting. It's like you get a headache after, and you just are confused.
Hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, it's
Definitely.
like
So overall, Arrival, really good. If you're looking for something that, like we've said, if you're looking for action like Independence Day, don't bother. Just steer clear of this because you're not. If that's what you want, that's not what you're going to get. But if you're looking for something that's smartly written, with a good story, some pretty cool visuals, definitely check out Arrival.
Right, right, definitely, because it's really good, but you have to know, like what Chad said before, you had you had to know what you're getting into because, um, like I'll put an example of 2049. One of my friends watched it thinking it'll be like a space cop action movie, and he fell asleep halfway through because it wasn't like that. It's like if you were, and I told him after, like if you were expecting a space cop action movie, then that's not gonna be 2049 for you, because 2049 is a mystery set in the Blade Runner universe. It's not really you know, it's not a space cop action movie with laser guns and all that. It's not gonna be like that. Same with Arrival. It's not gonna be Independence Day Part Two. Well, technically there is one like
Exactly.
that. I don't want to mention Independence Day Part Two, but yeah, it's not gonna be like Independence Day Part Two, where it's the law of action and law of destruction of cities. It's not gonna be like that. Like
Nice.
if you want that, there are a billion and one movies like that, but it's not
Yeah.
Arrival. Arrival is a smart film. I'm not saying to anyone listening this that you don't watch Arrival or you don't like Arrival, you're not smart, but you just have to know what you're getting into. That's just really it. That's just really the basic point of what we're trying to say. You have to know what you're gonna watch when you watch Arrival.
Exactly. So I think we're up to our last one and the best picture of 2019.
Right.
And this
Which
one,
you
this
have
is on you because I have not seen it yet.
you haven't seen Parasite?
I have not.
Oh, yeah, and you haven't seen my other one. Okay, so this one's on
Actually, you
me.
know what? I got what? Actually, you know what? I remember. I got one more. This is from a few more weeks ago, so I'll just make it our last little
Okay,
bonus one.
go for it.
But no, let's go. Let's do Parasite first.
No, Parasite's last. I was gonna do Little Women.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. You
Yeah.
had two more. Right. Go ahead. Let's blast through those two real quick.
Okay, so
Or just you because I haven't seen either of them. So let's just make these two a couple of quickies.
okay. All right. So I'll go. I'll allot around like 5 minutes for each, hopefully. All right. So Little Women first. Little Women, honestly, I genuinely loved, and I'm not sure if that's gonna be your movie, Chad, because I like dramas, and Greta Gerwig has directed one of my favorite coming of
I
age
know that I know
stories.
the story of it. I've read the story of it. I know what it is. I'll watch it. I'm sure I'll get around to it at some point.
Yeah, no, but Greta Gerwig, she directed a previous movie called Lady Bird, which is better than Little Women, but this is almost as good. And Little Women, a lot of people will say, "Oh my God, I don't want to watch it because it's a feminist movie." I mean, in a way, I guess so. Yeah, it is because it's women of coming of age and you know being their own person. But really, that's how it's more of a period piece on showing how women live their lives back in the time of the Civil War. I'm not sure what I don't know my American history that well,
That was
but
the 1800s.
okay, so 1800s. It was back then
Yeah,
when
very different world back then.
very different world. And Greta Gerwig painted it masterfully. I was lu- I was lucky enough to watch it in cinemas. It came here finally after a long, long wait. I finally watched it because I was really anticipating it, and I just gotta say, it's really good. Saoirse Ronan is she should have won the Oscar for Best Actress this year because she was really, really good. And Florence Pugh, who we will see later in the new Black Widow movie, she was also really good as the Florence Pugh plays the opposite of Saoirse Ronan's character Joe March, where Joe March is the dreamer and Florence Pugh is the one who conforms to the family and wants to be perfect and marry rich and all that. But that doesn't mean she's a bad person. I mean, like she kind of does some bad things in the movie, but nothing too bad. And she's given a personality. And those two, it really focuses on how hard it was for a person or for a woman to achieve their dreams during that time. And like Emma Watson's in it, and she's one of my favorite actresses because I have a crush on her. I mean, like obviously.
I think everyone does.
Yeah, I think everyone does at some point in their life, right? But Emma Watson's really, and her story, okay, her story is a side story, and it's not really focused well. And if there was like a 3 hour and a half director's cut of Little Women focusing on her story more, I'd watch it because it's actually pretty interesting. Her story also, like how she wants to Emma Watson's character, minor spoiler, wants to live rich, but she's kind of in a family that's poor, and she's conflicted about it. You can tell she's conflicted about it, and throughout the movie, it's implied, but like one scene she fixes it and she says, "Okay, I'm fine now," which is kind of like which is a quick fix because I guess the movie didn't the movie's runtime was like it needed to be cut short because um they needed to focus on other stuff or because the budget was too big. I don't know, but her character was great, and it's a shame that it wasn't explored more. Same with the other sister. Her name was Beth, played by Eliza Scanlon. Okay, I'm pronouncing that correctly. She was the one that she's the one that plays the piano, and she's the sort of quiet sister, and she also had a great character arc, but again, not focused enough. And I guess that's the main problem with the movie is that the fact that Little Women has like so many characters, and it doesn't have time to focus really and give depth to really to all of them. Like Saoirse Ronan's character Joe and Florence Pugh's character Amy get the most depth out of the entire movie, which is good because they are really the main characters. But I, as a filmmaker, would have wanted to see more because you have four highly paid actresses in there in that movie, Emma Watson included. So I really wish that there could have been like more time developed for Emma Watson's character and Elisa Scanlon's character because they were like pushed to the side really, and they were not really shown that much, which sucks because it sucks because they had interesting arcs that were not finished. It's like in I hate making this comparison because I like the movie, but in BVS, Wonder Woman wasn't really given enough screen time to be honest. So one of my main problems with BVS was that she was really kind of like pushed to the back burner until like the very last minute, which is fine, but I would want to see more development for her in BVS. But then again, she gets her own solo movie, so I'm really kind of conflicted with that. But in the case of Little Women, these women are not gonna get solo movies. Like Emma Watson's character Meg's not gonna get a Meg March solo movie. So it's a shame that her character and the character of Elisa Scanlon and also the character of Timothée Chalamet, his name's Laurie, the love interest of Joe in the movie, didn't get enough screen time, which sucks. And hopefully in the future, or if there's a director's cut, hopefully, I mean, it's never been announced, it's never said. Maybe this really is the final cut of the movie. Hopefully there will be more time for these characters, but as of right now, there's not. So I'll take what I can get. It's still a very brilliant movie that paints the picture of women and how much they really struggled during that time. It's a great movie that I would definitely watch again.
Cool.
And yeah, it's good. So Chad, if you are up for it, I recommend you do see it. Although I'm not sure if that's your type of thing. But
it depends. I'll see when I get around to it someday.
Yeah.
So let's see. So we're pretty good. Check it out. So let's see. Well, did you want to do Parasite now and then mine last, or did you want to do Parasite last?
You can go first.
All right. So mine, I'm gonna go quick on this, because we're getting close to wrapping this up. My last one is Color Out of Space. Very limited release. I actually had to drive, I don't know, quite a while to get to a theater that was actually playing it. And I saw it in a little art house theater, which was really cool. Never been in one of those. Usually, go to the multiplexes or whatever. But no, definitely seeing a little art house theater was awesome. And just, yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep this real brief because I know a lot of people didn't get to see it. And I want to keep it as, I want people to go in as blind as possible if you're interested in this. But to me, it's an art house sci-fi horror film. So, uh, eh, yeah, how to put it? The best comparison I could probably give it is if you've seen Annihilation, you kind of know the basic story of this because Annihilation was based off of the short story of The Color Out of Space. So if you liked Annihilation, you should like this. So yeah, it's got some good performances, I'd say. Pretty intriguing story. Some great horror elements that are definitely homages, maybe callbacks to a couple other horror films I've seen. Nicolas Cage, I think, gives a great performance. I think the daughter gives a pretty good performance. Honestly, I know some people said they didn't like her. I don't know why. I thought she was pretty good and pretty believable. But that's one I think when you get around to seeing it someday, you and I will maybe we'll discuss it, dive into it more. But for now, I just want to say if sci-fi horror is your thing, you should enjoy this because there is some quite disturbing scenes at some points of this movie that I don't want to ruin it for anyone. So real short and sweet. If sci-fi horror is your thing, I know it comes out on Blu-ray, I believe, this week, at least in America.
Wow, that
Uh,
was fun.
well, when something gets a limited release like this, they want to be able to recoup as much as they can. So obviously, getting a quicker Blu-ray release makes sense, and I'm glad they're doing it because I want to watch this movie again. So I'm pumped for buying it on Tuesday.
Mm.
So basically, all you ever saw of this was just the trailer, right?
It actually came here in the Philippines. I told you this, right?
Yeah, you said it was only for 2 days though. It got yanked out for what?
For Birds of Prey.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because Birds of Prey is a blockbuster. Because Birds of Prey, Little Women in 1917, they all came out the same week. So that's what happens here in the Philippines. They all came out the same week. So I was like, oh God, I have to watch all of these, and then I'll watch Out of Space. But by the time I got to it, I watched every single one I wanted to watch except that one. So yeah, that sucked. It wasn't even called Color Out of Space here. It was called some generic. Oh yeah, it was called the Paranormal. Why they did that?
That's the
I
worst
will
name
never
I've
know.
ever heard.
I will never know why they decided to change the name. But they did it also with. They also did it with one of the more recent movies. They renamed. Uh, oh yeah, they renamed the Autopsy of Jane Doe, just called the Autopsy. They removed the Jane Doe there.
Mm.
So yeah, because apparently that's what happens in Philippine cinemas. Like they change the name to the point
Mm.
where like when I saw the poster for the Paranormal, I was like, oh, this is not a generic horror movie. Then I was like, I looked at the trailer. I was like, oh shit, that's the Colorado Space. That's the one Chad talked about. Probably should get around to watching that. And then after 2 days, they yanked it out for Birds of Prey.
Uh, it sucks you didn't get to, but you'll when you watch it soon. Like I said, we'll do another show where we talk more about it. Cause yeah, that one I'm just gonna keep brief. So let's move on. Let's hit Parasite. Let's go through this one really quick, and because we gotta wrap it up. We're almost done.
Yeah. So I'll leave this one because I know you haven't seen it. Yeah. So Parasite for me, I watched it very very late. I watched it February, and it came out here for a limited time. I went to the cinema, and I gotta say, as much as I wanted 1917 to win Best Picture and Best Director, I gotta say Parasite really deserves the title because okay, Chad, to give you the basic premise, and I recommend you do watch it because it's really, 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 really good.
Mm-hmm.
Parasite is basically two families, one poor, one rich, and the poor family wants to earn more money. So the poor Korean family decides to infiltrate this house of rich Korean families and pose as helpers not related to each other. And it's a lot of good. I'm not gonna spoil what's in the movie because I really recommend you watch it. It's one of those movies like Arrival and Blade Runner 2049 where you have to go in blind because if you don't go in blind, it's gonna get ruined for you.
Okay.
So,
So did it deserve Best Picture?
oh yeah, definitely. The acting was solid. The directing was solid. There's a lot of long takes, long camera shots, long panning shots, lots of symbolism between the class. It's basically the theme. To put it plainly, Parasite is a combination out of all the Best Pictures nominations. It's the themes of Joker, the camera work of 1917, the drama of Little Women and Marriage Story, the sound design of Ford versus Ferrari, and basically what did it leave out? Irishman and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I guess it's pretty long. So yeah, the runtime of Irishman and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Wow. Well, I don't think there's too much to say because I mean
Yeah.
the awards speak for themselves.
It's really good, man, and I recommend you watch it. I mean, like, yeah, you'll need subtitles, but it's not a really distraction. I watched it. It's like I don't see the problem with the subtitles, honestly. A lot of people don't want to watch it because it's an Asian movie, and it's like, dude, it's a film that speaks to all. And again, it's a film that really, speaks to everyone, has a message that leaves you thinking on the way out. One of those films that I really, really not enjoyed, but loved and appreciated. And Chad, you at the beginning of this video, you said that the good story is what matters, right? So, Parasite definitely has a good story to it. So yeah, watch it, man. It's really good.
I think that about wraps it up. It seems like everything was good for us in the past couple weeks. So I don't know. I think I'm going to for our next episode of doing this, which a couple weeks from now probably do some different types of episodes coming up, experiment with some different stuff. But I think what I'm going to try and do is go through my movie collection again, which is extremely extensive. And I think I'm going to try and find some more movies in my collection that I haven't watched yet. Because I know I've got a lot. There's a lot in there that I've bought when they were either on sale or extremely cheap that I haven't gotten around to. So, yeah, we're definitely going to be doing this again coming up. Like I said, aside from some other types of shows and whatnot. But so anything coming up on your roster that you're looking forward to that's new that you or haven't seen yet?
For me, I guess it would.
I know you told me the other day you're about to start Scream.
Yeah. I'm gonna do my annual Harry Potter rewatch for this year because I rewatch Harry Potter every 2 years. Same with Star Wars. So I'm gonna do my annual Harry Potter rewatch. I was supposed to start a few weeks ago, but I got sick, so I never got around to watching it. But I'm gonna start with the Philosopher's Stone. This Tuesday, Chad, maybe we can do a podcast of that. Like, you've seen the Philosopher's Stone, right? So maybe you can do a quick review.
Okay. Yeah, we'll look into it. That'd work.
Look into it. I mean, like, we don't have to. It's not really a priority. But I'm doing my annual Harry Potter rewatch. I'm gonna start Scream this Saturday. I'm gonna watch it because I've been hearing great things. As for movies coming out, not this February, not a lot because I was hyped for The Kingsman, which was the Kingsman prequel series. The prequel to Kingsman: The Secret Service, but it got moved to September. So, yeah, nothing really. I mean, like, it's the end of February, so nothing's really kicking in. That seems good, but for March,
plenty of older. No, I'm not worried about theaters. There's plenty of older movies that are out on that are older that we can always get around to. I'm not worried about theaters. There's nothing very soon that I can even think of that I'm excited for.
I have to watch Wanted. I haven't watched Wanted yet. I want to.
Yes, you definitely need to watch that one.
Yeah, and then maybe I'll watch some. I'm into crime movies right now, so I'm gonna watch some crime movie probably, like Departed. I haven't seen The Departed yet.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening in. If you enjoyed this, let us know down below what you thought. Is there anything you want to hear us cover? Shoot us some ideas. Let us know what you liked, what you didn't like, suggestions, movie ideas, whatever. Let us know below. Give us feedback so we can improve the show if there's anything you weren't a big fan of. So, guys, this is Chad. I am signing out. And then Santino, you're out also. So, guys, we'll be back next week with a new episode. Talk to you soon.